Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon and the stunning Miss Lady Pop Hunter here in her pop culture jacket. Her patch jacket that she did herself. A lot of people like that jacket.
Yeah. I got a ways to go, but it's coming along.
It's cool though.
Yeah.
Comic book pickups this week. Comic book pickups. It's not a whole lot because I know we've had a couple that were just like, oh wow, is it ever going to end? But not a lot this week. But some interesting stuff nevertheless.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. I guess I'll go ahead and get started.
Okay.
And I don't know how well these will show with the plastic on them. There's Punisher 2099, number 1, in a 9/8, because I have all slabs this time. And these 2099 titles are kind of underrated. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, it's no big deal because they printed like 1 million of these, and that's true. At that time period, they made a ton of them, but because it's a foil embossed cover, they're not that easy to find in a high grade, believe it or not. So, if you can find one for a good price, you may as well go for it. And this is 2099 Unlimited number 1, first appearance of Hulk 2099. And I know there's a price tag on there. I think it's in the corner. Just ignore that because I didn't pay that. Hey, we couldn't do all this if we couldn't get deals.
No.
But yeah, CGC 9/8 2099, first appearance of the 2099 version Hulk. Underrated, completely underrated. And again, another reason why these are so tough to find in a high grade also is because there were so many made, people started to have a disregard for them. And a lot of these ended up just piled or stacked in boxes, and then you get like color transfer. Mm-hmm. That's where you see like a shadow of the cover on the back of the other book because they've been stacked that way forever. It's a bad thing to have happen. Here's another example of what I'm talking about, and that is from Image Comics 92. Supreme number 1 in a 9/8. And this is another one that, believe it or not, even though they made a ton of them, it's tough to find this in a high grade. Partially because of the black finish, so they get spine ticks, and also because of that, it's not only foil, but it's an embossed foil, so you can't really press this. It's got a raised texture to the cover. So there aren't very many of them that are actually in a high grade. Plus, you know, for me, this is really nostalgic of an era in comics when Image first came out and when they started doing all these gimmick covers and things like that. But we're going to get out of the 90s and we're going to take a step back a little bit here. This is Swamp Thing number 24. Swamp Thing number 24, and it's in a 9/4. And believe it or not, I actually see an opportunity for improvement, so I'm considering breaking this out. And this is the last issue in this particular series, number 24. This is the last issue in the series, and it's from this guy's collection. So I guess this is kind of a pedigree collection, even though it doesn't have a pedigree marking. It doesn't say that it's pedigree, but it says that it is. And this says 9.0. And then that's graded a 9.4. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's Swamp Thing. And I like that. And then finally, and this is a good one, Thor number 364, Underrated Key. What happens? It's an event because it is the first appearance of Throg, who of course is Thor turned into a giant frog. The Throg. And I just thought that was neat. Again, this one is also in a 9/8. And this is one that you can routinely, even in a 9/8, it's probably like around $100 usually. So I think that's it says possibly the most unusual Thor story ever published. Maybe. Maybe it is. It says Thor becomes a frog. And I just thought that was really cool. And this is from 86. So this is still Copper Age here. This one of course was bronze. This is copper. And that's what I have this week. LPH has a couple of pieces. Actually, they're pretty cool. I think so.
So the first one I have, Raggedy Ann and Andy. And I got both of these. I only got 2 books to show this time. And I got both of them as a gift from David. I got these for Christmas. And, you know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, I do collect Raggedy Ann and Andy action figures. I got some comic books. I got the toy box and a few other things from them. I'm a big fan in the house. I'm a big fan of Raggedy Ann and Andy.
And this is Golden Age. This is Raggedy Ann and Andy #1 from Dell Comics from 1946.
Yes,
and
that's an old book.
they're not easy to find in any kind of halfway decent condition.
And then this one, Doorway to Nightmare, #1. And I thought that was Elvira, but I mean not Elvira, sorry, Vampirella. But it's what's her name?
Was it Madame Xanadu or something like that? Yeah, in her first appearance, because that is #1, Doorway to Nightmare, DC horror. Well drawn too.
Yeah,
actually.
I like how they do the coloring in the hair, where they use the blue to show it shining.
Yeah.
They do good techniques that I think gets kind of lost with the computer.
Bronze Age horror is not to be underrated.
No.
And then, and that's a good point also, is that a lot of the modern comic books, they're being drawn on computer screens.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's still takes some skill to do that.
Yeah.
But you lose something in it. There's no depth to it, if that makes any sense. But this looks a lot better than a lot of the modern books that you would find.
Yeah. So those are the 2 that I have. I don't have that big, massive stack that I use.
No, maybe next time. We do have a couple of shows coming up.
Yeah, we got 2 shows coming up in January. So we'll be showing that, of course.
But yeah, we just wanted to share. So hey guys, what do you think of that? Don't sleep on the Bronze Age horror stuff.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on it. And again, like I said, it may seem kind of cheesy, some of these 90s 9/8 stuff, because they printed a million of them. But again, because of all of the little doodads and googads and whatever they did to try to entice you by putting foil on the cover and embossing covers and stuff, that makes it real hard to find a lot of these in halfway decent shape. Getting a 9/8 out of them is not that simple. And again, many of them, like this Supreme, you can't really press this.
Yeah.
You can't press it because it's embossed. You would crush the embossing. So, hey guys, what do you think? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up. We appreciate it. Check out some of the other content if you're new. And if that's it, then what more can we say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.